Hello, welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Today, I want to talk about toxic positivity. I feel like it's something that not a lot of people talk about. I haven't actually seen anything about it on social media, and I think you all know that I follow a lot of people, um, coaches, healers, transformation guides, everything about quotes and whatever not. If you've seen my feed, my stories, um, and even what I talk about, so it's very evident I'm into psychology and the brain and profiling and how we work as humans. But I really have not seen a lot of topics on toxic positivity. Do you know what it is? Well, if you do know what it is, then maybe you'll find something that you'll learn here, or maybe this is not the video for you. But I feel like toxic positivity is so dangerous. It is extremely dangerous because it's something that we do every day, and I feel like a lot of people do it. I want to say that I don't think there is a single person on this planet that has never done it before. And it is really something that society has taught us to do. Push down our emotions, do not think about it, just keep going, and that kind of way of living will cause a lot of illnesses, not to mention anxiety or depression, but illnesses in your body, because usually illnesses in your body, autoimmune illnesses in our body, are created by emotions that are not able to be processed out. So they get stored in your body and then becomes inflammation. So when you are able to deal with them or see the emotions, then it starts to resolve and it gets out of your system and you start feeling lighter and better, right? So toxic positivity is really, if a friend, I'm sure we all have done it. If a friend feels crappy or sad because they broke up with somebody or somebody broke up with them, you're like, yeah, you'll be all right. Don't think about it. Here, have some ice cream. You think you're going to be there for that person, right? You think you're being nice and supportive. That is not supportive. That is a skewed way of saying, like, yeah, nah, you're not allowed to feel what you're feeling right now, or be depressed, or feel sad, or angry over the breakup. Here, eat your emotions. Push it down so I don't have to deal with it sitting here next to you. There's loads of other things, work and stuff like that too, where a lot of people have anxiety, a lot of people have depression. You might not even know that you have depression. It sounds crazy, but it's so true, because these are symptoms that you go through on a daily basis that become a routine, and suddenly you're in the thick of it and you're like, oh shoot, I'm depressed. Or somebody tells you, or you see a video or something else and says, and you recognize the symptoms and the patterns. It's like, oh no. And it takes a while to unravel that, right? But at work, for instance, I think a lot of people feel extra pressure now to keep their job, to make sure they perform. And even prior to the pandemic, all those emotions has to go somewhere. Think of anxiety is basically emotions, energy in motion, and it just doesn't know where to go. So you have to process it out. And if you're consistently shoving it down, just getting the work done, consistently like putting aside your emotions, that you're feeling stressed, that you haven't slept, that you haven't ate, that you're really annoyed with your colleague, or you're really annoyed at yourself for not being able to read something faster or getting the task done faster, and the high expectations that you put on yourself, the unrealistic expectation that you put on yourself, those emotions have to go somewhere. But for instance, if you've had a talk with your manager, or even somebody at work, just because you wanted to talk to an authority to say, like, hey, I think I need some time off, and the authority was like, no, you know what, that would just be a band-aid. The problem's still going to be here, so you might as well face it head on. Toxic positivity, because You're not allowed to feel. You're not allowed to have those anxious moments. You're basically supposed to swallow it. That's what the management is saying to you at that stage. And I gotta say, I've had that happen to me, and I was extremely surprised. I was like, did this person just say that my mental health, when you're feeling exhausted and you're anxious and you're so stressed because you're trying to get everything done and there's just more work to do, and that you can't even take that time to take time off to settle your immune system, your body, to allow yourself to relax, to get yourself out of that survival instinct of fight and flight and freeze, that we should go with it, because that's how it causes chronic illnesses. That's how it causes more permanent damage. When we don't stop and we don't do proactive measures of resting, because rest is productive. I don't care who's out there disagrees with me, but rest is productive. Trust me, our bodies are not meant to go 24/7, even if you sleep 5 hours or 7 hours or whatever not. But if you have a high pressure job, or even if you feel stressed in any kind of sense and you have a lot of emotions and you just don't know how to deal with life or deal with different things, or even if you know how to deal with things and you're on top of everything, you can't just keep go, 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 go. I know people that will actually meditate, but they're visualizing at the same time because they need to be productive, right? It's a subconscious pattern going like, you know what? If I'm going to sit here and meditate, I should visualize my future. Again, patching over what's happening now, patching over your emotions, and not allowing yourself to go like, you know what? I feel really uneasy of what's happening to me right now, about, the fear, or maybe um, what the future brings, or where the money's going to come, or what do I want to do as my career, or what do I want to do as my life purpose, or do I want to live in this state, or so many different questions and answers, right? And it's like, oh my god, my family is depending on me, I can't go anywhere. No, don't visualize. I mean, like, you do visualize, but realize that those emotions that you're just kind of like going, we don't have to sit calmly and allow our body to relax and restore and rejuvenate. No, we're gonna visualize a new future for you. We're gonna patch over all this like crazy emotions and anxiety and depression and stress that you're feeling right now. We're gonna daydream to the future. That's still kind of toxic positivity. I know there is a fine line, because we should visualize, but there is also parts of visualization and how manifestation works is the emotions that you put behind it. So if you have good emotions and you really believe, and I'm going to do another video on that, on how to do that better, manifesting and visualizing, then you're not actually setting forth the energy that you think you are. So toxic positivity is really what seems to be that you're feeling shitty, but you're putting on a mask for the rest of the world, so they can't see how shitty you feel, or maybe you don't feel like it's accepted to have emotions. Think about the age. I was gonna say the age-long question, but think about women. Women going through periods and having PMS and having their hormones all over the place. And specifically when men say like, oh, you're on your period, such a bitch, and why do you have to be such a bitch for? It's not like you can call, like, most people cannot control it. If you are taking full advantage of being on your period and going overboard on the bitchy portion, that's a different story. But most women, I would assume, are not trying to manipulate or play that game, right? It's just hard. You might not be sleeping, your immune system's down, there's more stress on your body because your body is not producing more blood going in the different way, and then also retaining water, and so on and so forth. So your body's already working on overdrive, right? And yet we want to push our bodies as women to work overdrive, to overcompensate that, to not resist the urge of crying, resist the urge of being angry or annoyed, and not actually face those, because it's not something that we do in the society. But and I'm sure that if you have those toxic positive people around you, coworkers, friends, that say like, oh no, you're fine, you're single, you don't have anything to worry about, you don't have people like, that you're depending on or depend on you, you can do anything. Well, you know, I have responsibilities, house to pay for and everything else. It all depends on me. I'm just one person. Well, no, you're fine. And then, there's other people that say like, no, but you have a job. You don't have a job. You couldn't look for a job. So there's still toxic positivity because of the fact that there's assumption there, and they're ignoring the fact that you're feeling glum or sad about your job or sad about whatever the conversation is. If you're talking to a married person and they're talking to their single friend and they're like, well, you're single, you're happy, you have nothing to worry about, you can go whenever you want, do whatever you want, sleep in whatever you want. Yes, that is true. I can tell you because I'm single. But it doesn't mean that, like, I think it's beds and roses over when you're married too, right? Because, to single people, that might mean also like, oh my gosh, you always have family around you, people who love you and care for you and give you hugs when you want. You don't go to sleep alone, wherever that is. Everybody has a view, judgment of others, right? But I would say try not to judge other people. Try not to work from your own colored lens, right? And it's extremely difficult to do, I think. But seek to understand people, not to apply fixes, not to brush over their emotions, but seek to understand them, to why they are sad, why they are depressed, why they are angry, and whatever not, right? Because I think that toxic positivity has become so huge is because a lot of people probably confide in the wrong person or talk to the wrong people. And then you get that toxic positive, like, no, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. Nah, you'll find somebody else. You think you're being supportive, and don't worry, I have done this many times, and I didn't realize it until like you realize it, that it doesn't feel good, but you want to say something to be supportive, but you also, want to say something to be there for them, right? And it can come out wrong. But more so, like, maybe try to be that friend and let them talk, let them express their emotions and see how they can feel better by maybe asking them what will make you feel better right now, and or give it time. I know it's hurting right now, but you allow yourself to accept the moments that you're in, and you will see that it dissipates faster when you're in acceptance of where you are and what you've done and how far you've come. So be very careful with toxic positivity, and I think that know the people that are around you and know who you can talk to. Confide in the people you can trust, please, because let's not spread the positive toxicity forward anymore. Let's not make it a normality in life where we're all fake or we can't express our emotions, but make sure to be able to express it to somebody at least, or be able to talk it through and try to work it through on your own as well, because it is very important for you to sit still and allow your body to restore. Meditation is not just for like, okay, don't think about anything, don't think about anything, don't think about anything. Ooh, visualize. I want blah 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 in my life. I want, this and that. See, you're trying to be productive again. Don't be productive. Just sit there and see how your body feels. Scan your body and go like, a little bit tense there. How do we relax that? And it's kind of just allowing your body to repair itself. And by doing so, you're going to allow yourself to accept yourself as well and accept the emotions that you're feeling. So, I hope this helped you to understand what toxic positivity is and how scary it is, because it's everywhere. And spread the word. Try to be compassionate, seek to understand. I honor and enlighten you. Thanks for honoring and enlightening me. Namaste.